Welcome to Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. Number 11 Kansas plays host to number 22 Missouri. It's all a part of Rivalry Week, presented by Novell. Ron Franklin along with John Sunvold, and this one 17:59 showing on the clock in his opening half, in Kansas with a 4-0 lead. And John, let's talk about pace in the ball game, because it has to be very important to a Missouri team that is shorthanded.
Well, Missouri has to have patience on the offensive end. Early, we've seen Clemens take an long outside shot and have a turnover. They've got to be able to take high-quality shots like they just got. Jimmy McKinney missed an easy one.
Take a look at the Cadillac starting lineups. Clemens, McKinney, Paulding, Bryant, and Arthur Johnson. Miles, Heinrich, Langford, Graves, and Collison, the 5 on the floor for the Jayhawks.
All 4 points have gone for Nick Collison. 2 good low post position. Tigers cannot allow him to walk himself right down under the basket.
And McKinney picked up the foul, maybe frustration, as Heinrich hits the jumper. It's a 2.
Solid screen by Jeff Graves. Jeff Graves has 2 assists. Now he set a good screen to free up Heinrich.
Johnson against Graves. Tried to reverse it. Also tried to get a foul. Put it up, and Collison rebounds.
Ron, lack of patience in this building will send you home early. There's no doubt about it.
Kroenke prepares to check into the lineup for Missouri. 246 meeting. The last time the Missouri won, that was in Columbia. In fact, that was Norm Stewart's final game against KU. KU overall 155 to 90. So the foul situation, 3 team fouls early on Missouri.
Missouri in a soft zone that time, Ron. They're allowing Aaron Miles to take a look at it, but they allowed him to dribble to 12 feet to take a look at it. You can't allow that to happen.
A little too close.
Yep.
The 2 things that the Missouri coaches talked about today: transition, not allowing Kansas to get their running game going, and also coming down and taking time off the clock on the offensive possession, and they haven't done it yet.
Well, Clemens has such a quick release. That's why Miles had to go get to him early. Clemens missed an easy one. He's an outstanding shooter. He will make most of those.
First turnover against the Jayhawks. John, you played against Kansas 10 times as a Missouri Tiger player, both tournament and also regular season. Talk about the rivalry and what goes through their heads and hearts as this game gets underway tonight.
Well, a special meeting to fans, professors, teachers when you go to class that week. As a freshman and a sophomore, I don't remember much. You're kind of in a fog a little bit. You remember your junior, senior. It's preparation. Again, when you travel to this building, you've got to be prepared. Every man on that team and on the floor in sync, playing well.
Kroenke.
Heinrich gets up close to Kroenke. He's an outside shooter.
Paulding knocks down the 3. Now, one of the things to keep an eye on tonight, Kroenke has had real problems with his knees. Only able to play 13 minutes in Saturday's ball game. Talked to him before the ball game. I said, how much can you go tonight? He said, as long as they need me to play.
Well, neither team very deep. Obviously, Wayne Simeon still out for Kansas. Jeffrey Ferguson for Missouri, serving a second game of a 2-game suspension. Both benches are a little thin.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Nice job defensively on Miles, and Collison with the bounce pass.
A lot of ball fakes. Missouri not taking them.
Ball is tipped and knocked away, and it was Clemens who had the defensive play, and that is a shot clock violation. They did not hit iron. So let's take a timeout. 15:34 left in this opening half. 8-3 Kansas.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship on ESPN and ESPN2.
Martin, please, come in. Everyone know Martin from IT, the guy who linked all our applications together? What, no chair? Okay. Anyone whose department didn't make a 170% return on investment last quarter, step back from the table. Grab a seat, Martin.
System upgrade. What happens when the technology you invest in actually makes you money? Novell.
What's doing?
Honey, I'm trying to read the competition's finance ad.
Well, here's the magnifying glass you asked for.
Oh, no. For this, I need the really big one. How else am I going to read the fine print?
How's this?
Ha! Big Big minimum purchase, big monthly payments. You pay right away. Miss one, big interest adds up from day one.
The Rooms to Go, you get a free ride till September 2004.
Which is exactly what I'm telling you, sir. You want the real deal? Shop at Rooms to Go. No money down, no payment.
No interest till September 2004.
Well, that's elementary, my dear. Edwin?
Fiesta Trio, fresh garden salad, sizzling fajitas, and a warm brownie sundae. $8.99, only at On the Border.
ESPN's presentation of Rivalry Week is presented by Novell and in part by Cadillac. Both vehicles defying convention. And Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh-baked bread. Subway, eat fresh.
8-3 our score, and you see we have not played the first 5 minutes. John, talk about this situation. Coaches talk about the first 5 minutes of each half when they come into Allen Fieldhouse and how much of a dominant force Kansas can be. How do you avoid it?
Well, the first thing, again, on the offensive end, it has to be high-quality shots. You've got to run your offense. Don't take the first one available. Kansas wants you to do that. Roy Williams' ball club, they feed on the fact if you miss a couple shots and they get out and run and get this crowd at a fever pitch. If you take some time off, run your offense, pass up the first shot, be patient, then you will knock in some shots, keep this crowd out of it. But so far, Kansas off to a good start tonight.
It's very hard to do for the opposition, particularly when they're on.
No doubt.
Wayne Simeon on the bench, unable to play tonight. It may still be some time as the ball is turned over. And you've heard us say so many times, nothing chaps a coach any more than to come out of a timeout, have a set play, and to turn the ball over.
Well, give Roy Williams credit. They trapped at half court. I thought Clemens read it well. He just simply, Kroenke came up. He didn't see him coming up, overthrew it.
Miles on the floor. Now bodies all over the place. And Grant, did he call a timeout?
I think so.
And Kroenke gets up limping as he went down to try to help get the ball. But it appears as though Trayvon Bryant did get a timeout called for the Missouri Tigers. Well, tomorrow is Super Tuesday on ESPN and ESPN2 with Big East and SEC action. First up at 7 o'clock on ESPN2, it's Providence at number 4 Pittsburgh. And take a look at Super Tuesday presented by Dollar Rent-A-Car in the nightcap on ESPN at 9 o'clock Eastern. Number 1. The Gators of Florida against number 7 Kentucky, who has been absolutely one of the hottest teams in America as of late.
What an awesome game. You've got Florida at Kentucky. You take a look at the top 10. Florida sits on top. They are undefeated at 7-0 in the SEC. Kentucky now 6-0 in the SEC as they move all the way to number 7. Both Billy Donovan and Tubby Smith were served as assistants under Rick Pitino, who's got that Louisville ball club playing unbelievably well.
Look down at number 10, Mike Bray's Notre Dame Fighting Irish with 18 victories on the season already.
Another tough one over the weekend. They seem to get it done now.
Short on that one, and the long carry comes back to Missouri. Clemens not bashful to shoot from anywhere, but he passed it off to Paulding that time.
And again, quick shots will frustrate. If you don't make them, here comes Kansas to the other way.
Arthur Johnson comes down with the rebound, and Missouri pushes it. Clemens back out on top. The bouncer to Johnson, and he's seeing the ball so much more this year than he did his first 2 years at Missouri.
Good face-up, Trayvon Bryant, who's very good soft touch. He's a good catch-and-face player.
Coach Williams talked today about Trayvon probably not getting as much attention or respect as he should get. That's going to be on the end line, handled by Kansas. It'll go over to the Tigers.
Well, we mentioned Trayvon Bryant. He's a guy that has to have good ball games. Doesn't have to have 15 points and 15 rebounds. But a 10 and an 8, 8 and 10, things like that, that's what they need from him. McDonald's All-American now in his junior season.
And he will go to the bench. And number 14, Kevin Young, a huge freshman out of Kingston, Jamaica, 6'9", 270 pounds. Checks into the ballgame. Now that is about as deep as they go as far as big people inside.
Well, with Jeffrey Ferguson out for this ballgame, yes, there is not much left on the sidelines for Quinn Snyder.
Johnson, the bounce pass. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Clemens has a quick trigger. Can shoot it in a hurry.
Come up with a double on him. Back over on the wing. Paulding pulls up, has the ball knocked away. And it looks as though they're going to get Langford.
From our angle, looked like a good block. Langford went behind Paulding after he put it on the floor. Now take a look at the active hands. Langford's going to just hang and wait. Good block. Missed call.
So first team foul on the Jayhawks. As we mentioned, 3 early on the Tigers, and Paulding goes to the line.
Solid numbers in his junior season. A lot of Missouri fans expected Ricky Paulding to kind of take over for Kareem Rush, but sometimes it's not that easy. Paulding had a big NCAA tournament, was on the all-region team out west, averaged 18 points as the Tigers advanced to the Elite Eight last year.
Almost 77% from the free throw line, and a big hand for Graves as he went to the bench, and Nash checks in replacing him. And as John mentioned, Graves off to a solid start with a couple of big screens and also a couple of big assists. 8-7. The Tigers cut it to within 1. It's a 7-0 Missouri run.
Michael Lee now in the ball game. They probably will allow him to take a look at the outside shot also.
Collison tries to step inside too hard in the shot, and the Karam comes back to the Tigers. But the Jayhawks in transition do a nice job defensively.
Ron Tigers, Missouri is very good on the defensive end so far.
Kroenke. Too hard off the back iron. Langford fouled, and that's Paulding. That's going to be 2. But John talked about the few numbers. Both teams shorthanded because of injuries, one because of suspension. But they certainly can't have Paulding sitting on the bench.
No, not at all. And again, they're missing the G. Beckles transferred right before the second semester started.
Arthur Johnson goes to the bench to get a breather. The pace that this game is being played at, particularly tough on these big guys. Roy got Graves out quickly, and then Quinn quickly got Arthur Johnson to go sit down.
I expected a little faster pace initially. Teams getting both up and down the floor, but it has slowed down. Sloppy shooting on the offensive end. No one's been able to convert.
Langford on the cutter. The left shot. Not there. Air ball, and that's going to be a foul. And it'll be Michael Lee who picks it up. His first, and the team's second.
Opportunities for Missouri. Since Kansas is struggling the offensive end, if you're a visiting team, you've got to take advantage. You know Kansas will get a run and get hot going forward. They're only 4-11 from the field, but Missouri only 2 of 10 from the field.
Young sits down, a short breather as far as Art Johnson is concerned. I loved his quote in the paper today. They said, how tough is this ball game? He said, we may be shorthanded, but you could go down there with 15 and it would still be tough.
Well, Big Arthur yet to be on the board offensively.
McKinney with the bouncer inside. And then the skip pass. Kroenke inside to Johnson. Nice ball movement. Tigers, and it pays dividends.
Yeah, you mentioned a good ball move, good seal by Arthur Johnson, made it easy.
And now Clemens has just collected a foul.
Quinn Snyder's got his ball club ready, Ron. If they score, they sprint back defensively, so there's not an easy basket. Look where Arthur Johnson has Jeff Graves. In the paint. A.J. will score most of those baskets.
Quinn Snyder, or as some of his team guys call him, Q. Graves. Nice inbounds pass, set play.
Nice pass from Heinrich. Hard to hold the ball for about 4.5 seconds and finally find the open man.
Okay, the Jayhawks went about 4.5 minutes on that case without scoring. Trayvon Bryant tries to reverse it. That's a tough shot for a lefty. Tip inside. Art Johnson.
Big man, you have to keep him off the glass.
Langford for 3. Nope, 2. Had a foot on the line.
Obviously, the X factor in this ball game for Kansas says Langford can get on a roll. He's one of those guys that scores from all ranges on a court.
Roy Williams thought that the ball touched Missouri last, but Tom O'Neill right on top of the play said, nope, it stays with the Tigers. We'll take a break. KU by 1.
could have seen it coming. Cadillac. Breakthrough.
Subway's changed my life. I've got more energy, and I need it with a wife at home. Now there's plenty to take care of. I have a yard to keep, things to build. I work up quite an appetite. Now Subway has low-fat sauces, like honey mustard on turkey. I love the new meat.
Subway, eat fresh!
Next item, lot 29 from the Gloucester estate. Bidding starts at 5,000. 5,500, thank you. 6,000, new bidder. 6,500. 7,000, thank you, sir. 7,500. 8,000, sir. It's here now at 8,000. Fair warning, sold to the man with the Bud Light.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
New York Giant Michael Strahan and his mom brought Luis Hernandez new Campbell's Chunky Honey Roasted Ham and Potatoes. Filled up right by those hearty chunks of ham. Luis was in hog heaven.
Since the beginning of time, there have always been rivalries. The lines are drawn, the emotions are high, and you must choose which side are you on.
Well, it is a rowdy house, as always, whether it's at the Hearn Center or here at Allen Fieldhouse. Now, officially, just a moment ago, KU went 4 minutes and 44 seconds without scoring, and a large part of that was, as John had pointed out, nice defense on the part of the Missouri Tigers.
Well, understanding what the coaches want you to do and then doing that. Watching the scouting report, paying attention. They have backed off Miles. They have backed off Jeff Graves when they catch the ball on the offensive end. Good defense by Graves.
Graves knocked it away, and the ball is knocked away by Clemens out of bounds.
Well, Clemens has fast hands. Heinrich did not expect Clemens to get that.
Heinrich and Collison both have already had shots altered.
Take a look at Graves. Deep knocks it away. Now Heinrich thinks he's got an easy one. Watch how fast Clemens knocks it away.
And he did it with his left hand.
Yep, quick. 2-3 zone. Heinrich will try to find some opening. And he's got great range. He steps way beyond the three-point line.
There's the bouncer to Graves. Got the cutter. Collison is there. The fake, and then goes up and scores.
That's a nice pass, but defensively, you shouldn't allow that to happen. Good hustle by Lee.
He's got 6, and now here comes a turnover. 3-on-3. Heinrich.
Ron, we've seen it before. This Kansas team, off a turnover, off a missed field goal, they will attack in a hurry. This is where veteran leadership comes in. Ricky Paulding's been here 3 times. He's got to be patient, get his team settled down.
McKinney back over to Clemens. Plenty of time in the shot clock. Crowd is really into this one now. Johnson saves it.
Good pass.
9 seconds on the shot clock, and Clemens off the mark. And that's going to be Johnson over the back with his first foul.
That's a good find and good patience by this Missouri team. Art Johnson did not get in a hurry, threw it across. Clemens had a good look, simply missed it.
First foul on Arthur, and the 6th team foul on the Tigers already at the 10:36 mark. That could be large.
Could be big.
Langford goes to the bench. Aaron Miles checks into the lineup, and Michael Lee will stay on the floor. A good look back for teammate Collison. Has time to square up, doesn't have to rush it, and he gets his first 2.
Well, one senior to another, one leader to another. Collison, his range, such a smooth jump shot this season.
That is first 2 off the jump shot. Everything else has been in the paint. 8 points for Collison now with an 18-11 lead at Jayhawks.
Well, the double team because Heinrich is going to turn the corner. Collison pops out, and we've seen that all season long. The softness of the jumper. Big improvement from a year ago.
You know, we talked Saturday in the Nebraska game, John. They have been together for so long, and they really do look for each other as far as, you know, and they look for other teammates as well. But they know when the other is open.
Actually played together in AAU ball back in Iowa. Both grew up in the state of Iowa, so have known each other for a long time. Missouri having a hard time getting the ball inbounds, and this is another one of those little things. When you play here in Allen Fieldhouse against an outstanding Kansas team, every move has to be harder, a little quicker. Every pass has to be more precise.
Graves with that foul. It's the 3rd team foul against KU.
Graves and Johnson really going at each other inside. Good step out by Collison.
The ball knocked away by Collison. It'll stay with the Tigers. 16 seconds on the shot clock.
When Missouri's moving it on the outside and Johnson is maneuvering on the inside, they've got to find a way to hit him because there isn't any help on the backside by this KU team if they can find him right away.
Well, John, the point that you made just a moment ago is so valid. You got to cut a little harder and move a little quicker because that is the intensity of this rivalry.
Well, I've always thought when you play here, it's like playing against 6 defenders. I mean, they move that quickly on this home floor. This crowd and this fan base really ignites this Jayhawk team. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Watch for the quick pop out in the shot.
Paulding under duress,
wow,
and he cans it.
What a big hoop. Paulding now with 8.
And I mean, you couldn't have been on it any tighter defensively.
That's a big basket for Missouri. Double dribble. Think of that play by Paulding. Kansas was on a run. Paulding hits a shot really at the end of the shot clock. Watch this. Heinrich all over Ricky Paulding. Gets his feet set. Good release. Bottom.
You could see on the shot clock with 1 second.
He knocked the 3 in. Then Miles has an unforced turnover.
Ron Franklin and John Sunbolt coming to you from a packed Allen Fieldhouse rivalry week presented by Novell as the Missouri Tigers take on the Kansas Jayhawks.
Pretty good graphic there. Kansas, Missouri, when they're both ranked. Series tied 5-5. What a great rivalry it's been over the year. Roy Williams took over and had great battles with Norm Stewart. Fred Snyder took over for Norm Stewart. The battles continue a little more one-sided here in the last couple of years in Allen Fieldhouse. Leaning towards the Kansas way.
Second foul on Langford. And 14 fouls, Jayhawks. Way outside with the jumper. Too hard up the back iron.
Clemens has been a little bit strong, and as a shooter, it happens when you're overly excited.
Hawkins for 3. Nope. Collison tries to get the tip. They bang it around, and Johnson has it.
Something to mention to Jeff Graves when you play in this game. You grab the ball 2 hands. He's gone after a couple kind of lightly.
Almost stolen by Miles. Rocky works against him.
Miles missed one there, didn't he? He had one. If he stuck his hand out, he'd have had 2 the other way.
And his hand in his pocket, it was about to pick it. Johnson, they leave him alone out there at 18 feet.
5 seconds left. Nice pass.
Johnson gets it up too hard on the follow. They miss it, but they get a fresh 35. Follow again, not there. It is batted out to the sideline. It stays with the Tigers.
Outstanding lead pass by Clemens to Johnson. He missed it. Kevin Young missed a putback.
Floyd Clemens, 54 of 134 attempts from the 3-point range, but tonight maybe the adrenaline causing that shot to be a little bit strong, John.
I think so. Young man again is a quick trigger outside, has a fast release, good jump shooter.
Hawkins plays through the screen, and Clemens lost it out of bounds. And they're going to say it stays with Missouri, and the crowd, I don't have to tell you what their reaction is.
Well, Roy Williams isn't arguing, so it must have been a good call. We didn't see it. From here, it looked like Clemens simply lost it out of bounds.
26 seconds showing on the shot clock. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in his opening half. Everything you expect this matchup between KU and Missouri to be. Clemens pulls up hard, and the shot gets it to go hard up the back iron and got a good roll. And it's a 2-point game, and then Graves at the other end will go to the line for a couple, and it would appear that Kevin Young will pick up his first foul.
What a difference in Jeff Graves from even a month and a half ago. Sprinting down the court, right down the middle. Good lead pass, good hands. Almost made the finish. See his last 9 ball games, nearly double-double averaging. The thing Jeff Graves has to keep away from are the silly fouls that get him in trouble at times.
2 points, 3 assists. He also has 2 great screens that you talked about early on in the ball game to get his shooters open. Playing because of the injury to Simeon, as Simeon sits on the bench, and I had a chance to talk with him before the ball game, and some new news. He said that Coach Williams had mentioned earlier in the day they may look for still another opinion. He may have to go to a doctor in New York City to get that shoulder re-evaluated.
Well, that's not good news, because when you start doing that again, there's something wrong and something's not feeling quite right. And a lot of Kansas fans are excited. Maybe it would be tonight, maybe this weekend. But that sounds like news that they're still searching for an answer, and there may not be one this season.
Well, the first free throws for KU tonight.
How about if you're Quinn Snyder, your team's shooting 30%. You've taken some difficult shots. You're only down 2 points.
Clemens too hard off the back iron, and Hawkins skies for the rebound.
Heinrich's got to free himself because he's the main scorer on the floor.
24 feet.
Yep. He's got great range. Doesn't have to shoot a jump shot from out there. Kind of a toe raiser. I'd look at the players on the Kansas squad. Not a big offensive team, so Heinrich's going to find his shot. Good switch by Hawkins.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Clemens dribbles in, the bounce pass, almost stolen, and it is. Nash takes it away. Miles dribbling to his left. Not there. They go for the tip. Graves still puts it in the air, and coming away, Kevin Young, the freshman out of Kingston, Jamaica, for the Missouri Tigers.
Well, Miles, a 38% field goal shooter from the field. It struggles really getting the jump shot. They try to want him to take it in rhythm, and if he has it, go ahead and shoot it.
Young, who came to campus weighing 325 and is now down to about 270 pounds. And John, you can take the diet patrol tonight.
There's a few of them on the floor, huh?
Oh, I'm telling you, a lot of big guys that have lost a lot of weight. 21-16 as we take a break. Heinrich hits the first three for the Jayhawks. Right back.
A definite edge. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It is a rivalry born in bitterness that has created champions. The Colorado Avalanche, the Detroit Red Wings. 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday on ESPN.
Winter X Game 7 in Aspen continues Tuesday at 7 on ESPN.
Honey, starting a family means getting a new car.
VHIX.com is the easiest way to shop for cars.
Compact? We're talking family.
Right. With online comparisons, features, even safety records.
It's too small.
It's a sedan.
It's too small.
Exactly how big of a car will we need?
So you can find the one car for you and your family.
Minivan.
VHIX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
This winter, In Demand brings home the chance to win something big. Really big. It's your shot at a mega prize. Mega movies start every half hour. Order one, and you could be on your way to winning $25,000 to create a mega moment of your own. For more information, go to indemand.com. The more mega movies you order, the more chances you have to win.
Well, I like this.
In Demand pay-per-view. Order a mega movie tonight.
21-16, and a reminder, more basketball on the way at midnight Eastern Time. Wyoming takes on San Diego State at our nightcap matchup. Big Monday presented by Bud Light, part of Rivalry Week presented by Novell.
Wyoming playing well even without their leader Marcus Bailey, but we saw Dante Richardson put on a pretty good show here in Allen Fieldhouse. Outstanding player.
It seems like yesterday, John, and
Yes,
it was early
does.
December. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Missouri Tigers have to keep that in mind as they inbound off the side right in front of the KU bench.
Oh, my.
Stolen by Heinrich. Quinn Snyder just put his hands over his eyes.
Well, a freshman mistake. Jimmy McKinney, who took the ball out. Again, the passes, they can't float in this game.
Here comes the trap on the floor for the basketball, and it's going to be a hell ball, and the possession arrow says it'll stay where it is with the Tigers.
The two guards from Missouri, both new to this ball game. Jimmy McKinney, the lob pass, and Heinrich with an easy take. And then the flush on the other end for the senior.
8 points off turnovers for KU so far in the ball game.
Clemens and McKinney, who have the ball the majority of the time in the backcourt for Missouri.
Here comes the trap.
And here it comes again, and you can't turn your back against it.
And Graves knocks the ball away, goes over Ted Hillary, and it goes out of bounds.
Ted Hillary fell down. He did not see the end of the play. He's got to rely on Steve Wilmer comes in. And he got run over, I think, by big Jeff Graves.
Yes, he did.
We better check if Ted's okay.
And one of the things you have to understand is Jeff Graves also was an all-state tight end and defensive end, so football mentality is a part of his makeup.
Well, and part of it there, Ron, Ricky Clemens, once he picked the ball up, he turned his back to this Kansas team, and they feast on that. It's the second time the underneath out of bounds, Kansas has gotten a layup.
9-point ball game. Art Johnson at the other end, and that'll quiet the crowd for the moment.
Terrific pass from Josh Kroenke. The aggressive attack when the lane's there, when they picked him up, the little dump off to Arthur Johnson.
Arthur Johnson has 6 points so far. Under 6 minutes to play. Heinrich for 3. That's going to be short and off the mark as Johnson gathers another rebound, and it was touched last, knocked out by Collison.
Here, take a look at the pass. Easy finish for Johnson. He will not have many easy looks in this ball game tonight.
Well, he's one of the big bodies we talked about that lost a lot of weight. Now, the total may not be as far down, but he has changed the dimension of his body.
Much better condition, much more confident with his body. Offensive end that has just made more production for himself and his ball club. I mean, he is a factor in every ball game. The more touches he gets, the better this Missouri team is.
Listen to the hand for Hawkins as the crowd really appreciating what he did at both ends of the floor.
Changed the pace a little bit, didn't he? Got his ball club more active on the defensive end with their hands. McKinney's good outside shooter.
Pauling. Nope, not there. Graves grabs down another rebound.
Pauling, not the purest of shooters. Doesn't have really the proper rotation, but confident when he gets his stroke going.
Roy Williams very animated on the sideline. Pass it. We have dribblers to do what you just did.
Exactly right. You're not going to shoot the shot, so don't worry about putting a move on anybody.
And Roy is still pleading with it. Listen to me.
Well, that's a half a plead, but more of a statement.
5 turnovers now, Jayhawks. About to go under 5 minutes left in this opening half. 25-18, KU. Bryant hands it off and stolen by Heinrich. And right here in front of us, can they hold it in? Yes. Miles back to Collison, and he threw it right on his shoelaces.
I'm going to tell you what, great hustle from Josh Kroenke because Collison thought he had an opening. Miles didn't see Kroenke. Kroenke came from all the way to half court to knock that away.
Kroenke looks much more agile tonight. The knees may be hurting, but this rivalry right here will take some of that pain away, won't it, John?
Yeah, the pain shows up after the game.
McKinney for 3.
Got a great stroke.
Nails it, and way outside on that one.
Outstanding freshman. Good ball handler. Has a great understanding and a feel of the game of basketball. Take a look at the top side. Look at Kroenke. Now, Miles thinks he's got Collison all by himself. Actually, it's just an awful pass. Hits him in the foot.
Shoelaces, as I said.
Oh, my.
Almost untied him.
Here's McKinney just measuring up Aaron Miles. Now, McKinney, good, solid size at 6'3 and a half, 200 pounds. Played at Vashon High School in St. Louis. State championships 3 straight years. Mr. Basketball in the state of Missouri. Highly recruited throughout the country.
And he's no longer wearing that piece of plastic that he had on his face for a broken jaw earlier. About to go under 4 minutes left of this opening half. Paulding left alone, gets a screen and goes back on the wing.
How quickly Heinrich recovers to Clemens. Has to continue to show a hand, though. Ricky Clemens will shoot it.
Langford working out front against McKinney. Shot clock is now at 10. Johnson takes it up. Ball is knocked away. Yeah, I'm not so sure he didn't just lose the handle on that one rather than being blocked.
I think it was a hard bounce pass, and it was hard to handle.
Graves. Trayvon Bryant was right there defensively, and he was too strong for it.
Boy, Arthur Johnson staying with it. Got it blocked once. Partially tipped the second time, and then he just stayed there.
Got a hand on it. I'll tell you, the Tigers are moving the ball well, John.
They are hanging in there.
They have made a lot of silly first-time series errors, particularly by the two young people at the guard position. Collison tries to muscle it up. He does, not there, and the follow, and that's Langford.
Sometimes defensively you focus so much what Collison is doing, you forget to block your man out. Langford had a free pass.
Johnson.
Pretty good battle on both ends, and neither are guarding each other. Collison and Arthur Johnson both good on the offensive end. They haven't matched up against each other too much. Arthur Johnson looks like he needs a break.
He's got 8 points. The cutter, Langford. Not there, knocked out of bounds. It'll go with the Tigers, and we've got a timeout. 2:33 left in this opening half. It's a 4-point ball game as Arthur Johnson, playing it tough, goes back up, gets the tip, and this one sticks.
Tomorrow night at 7, it's the Moto X Big Air Final. As Winter X Game 7 concludes from Aspen. Or Rivalry Week heats up as Brandon Knight and Pittsburgh host Providence. At 9, number 1 Florida takes on Keith Bogans in Kentucky for first place in the SEC East. It's all on tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN2. Enjoy the action.
Okay, people, what now? Systems still not connecting with remote locations?
No, sir, that's been fixed.
Applications not linking with our suppliers?
No, sir, we're good there.
Why are we here?
Shirts.
Shirts?
Yes, sir, we're a shirt company. We make shirts.
Memory upgrade. What happens when your technology lets you refocus on your business? Novell.
Have you seen the new look for this year? Introducing the all-new CLK.
From early mornings to late nights, from the store around the corner to business around the country, your whole family can count on the best wireless network in the nation, Verizon Wireless. Get the America's Choice National Family Share Plan and share unlimited night and weekend minutes on up to 4 separate lines. Hurry and buy an LG phone for $49.99 after rebate. Plus, now get unlimited text messaging for only $2.99 monthly access. So no one's ever out of the loop. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Hi, everybody. Reese Davis, Digger Phelps here. We will be with you for the Mass Mutual halftime report every night. Seems like rivalry week in the Big 12. It's so deep, Digger. But has Missouri shown you a little something so far?
Show me a lot of intensity, making things happen with the points in the paint. Arthur Johnson, but can he stay with endurance in the second half?
Coming up at halftime, we'll talk much more about Jim Calhoun's battle with prostate cancer.
(29-25). Just over 2.5 minutes.
And if you're Quinn Snyder, you need your ball club to hang in there for the last 2:30. And what I mean by that is do not let this Kansas team get on any kind of a run to end the first half.
Points in the paint, John. 18 KU, 10 Missouri.
Missouri's had a lot of second chance opportunities, and they've converted on quite a few. Pretty good on the offensive rebound.
Johnson way too hard on that one. Heinrich tries to save it. He stepped on the in line. It'll go back to the Tigers.
10 seconds on the shot clock. They want to know if Quinn Snyder wanted. He thought Heinrich had possession. Steve Wilmer said no.
3. Wow. Clemens.
Deep.
You know what else is interesting, John? Off the bench, 9 subs. No bench points as yet for either team.
You know, it's not. I don't know if that's a surprising stat, just because neither team loaded with the guys, production players as far as the offensive end.
Heinrich, nice look to Collison.
That's all caused really because Kirk Heinrich turns the corner with the ball instead of just settling for maybe a pump fake outside. He turns it, he draws the defense, makes a play.
Trayvon Bryant. The double came over, nice help defensively, and Langford gets it off to Nash for showtime.
Come fly with me, huh? My goodness.
Under a minute, and this crowd is ignited.
And this is where you had to protect at the end of the half. Missouri needs a good possession. They need a good clean shot. They need a basket.
Clemens tries to save it. Kroenke can't get it. Heinrich hustles for it, and it's going to be Kansas basketball. Well, coming up on the Mass Mutual halftime report, Reese Davis and Digger Phelps. An update on Coach Calhoun, a Big East rivalry, and a minute with Ricky Baldy.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Calhoun.
Boy, no question.
Yeah, we mentioned the end of the half. How does this Kansas team and Missouri team finish it? Good hustle. Langford picks up the dribble. And Brian Nash was just on a dead sprint. The triple jumper. The former triple jumper in high school. Well, he took off, huh?
I'll tell you, didn't even have to put it on the floor.
You know, the pressure on the defensive end by this Kansas team, they've been able to turn it up a notch in different possessions. And it has bothered some of the Missouri players. Not all, but some. It's led to some easy baskets. Kansas shooting 57% from the field. They've had some easy looks on some breaks.
The other thing that they have done a nice job, KU, and that is the step outs. Just shutting off the passing lanes on the perimeter.
Quick shot by Kansas so that they get another possession.
Collison that looks over at the bench. Roy puts both palms up, saying, why so quickly?
Well, shot clock is now off. Missouri can hold it for one. Game clock at 23.
5-point margin, Kansas. Missouri would love nothing more to at least get a deuce here. To head into the locker room with that much momentum.
Kansas will run. That time they just tried to come out and make Missouri swing the ball, see if they would shoot ahead of the clock. Good block.
Blocked by Heinrich. Collison comes up with it. 2 seconds, 1 second.
Good defense by Heinrich.
So we're at halftime with the score. Kansas 33 and Missouri 28. Now let's send it to Reese and Digger with the Mass Mutual halftime report. Gentlemen.
Ron, thank you very much. Glad to have you with us on the Mass Mutual halftime report. And as Ron and John mentioned, Missouri had to guard against that spurt to end the half. Seems to be a trademark of Kansas teams. What's the most important component in finishing a half like that?
You got to have momentum going into halftime. If you got momentum, it comes from defense, rebounding, and get the last score. And when you have momentum, that opens up the second half to keep it going.
Still ahead on the Mass Mutual halftime report, we will talk much about Jim Calhoun's situation, the head coach at UConn. And earlier on Big Monday, Syracuse and Georgetown and the Orangemen making a statement, Digger says, in the Big East. He'll tell you why and how when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at nbusa.com.
Have you seen the new look for this year? Introducing the all-new CLK.
I like to skate. I don't like to sweat. I use Red Zone because it's the strongest stuff you can get, made just for guys. It absorbs in and helps stop sweat, period. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. Dude, think about it. Would they guarantee it if it didn't work? Red Zone from Old Spice.
ESPN's The Season brings you sports from a different angle. They brought the ultimate prize to Hockeytown.
This is a big shift here.
Now see the Wings from a new perspective. On the road, off the ice. The Season, Detroit Red Wings, 8 Eastern Sunday on ESPN.
Tonight on SportsCenter, who won't be dancing in March? The Lakers missed the playoffs, fact or fiction? The latest on King James and his Court of Appeals, and Barrett Robbins tells his side. SportsCenter after the game.
Welcome to the Mass Mutual Halftime Report.
Tight game in the first half. Kansas with the lead on Missouri at the break. Glad to have you with us on the Mass Mutual Halftime Report. UConn head coach Jim Calhoun has been diagnosed in the early stages of prostate cancer. Now, doctors say that the condition appears to be very treatable, and they're very optimistic. But Calhoun will have surgery. He'll be away from his team for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Earlier tonight, Jim Calhoun spoke of his decision.
And I want to fight this like I'm fighting against my life, and I'll win this battle. And my family, the love and prayers of everybody, and be back on the sidelines, hopefully soon. I did ask the kids to really sit. The lesson said to them is that one never knows what's going to happen from one day to the next, and all you can do is give your best every single day, and that's all I'm asking you to do. If you want to do anything for me, give your absolute best, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, someone who has been down the road that Calhoun is about to travel is Jim Boeheim of Syracuse. Boeheim had a similar situation occur last year, and he had to deal with his prostate cancer. Boeheim and Calhoun spoke earlier, and after the Syracuse-Georgetown game, Boeheim talked about the words of encouragement he offered to the Husky coach.
I explained to him what I went through last year, and I was back in a couple weeks, and the doctors, the medicine, cancer research, everything is so great today. I expect Jimmy's going to be back on the sidelines yelling and screaming just like me in 2 or 3 weeks. I wish him all the best of luck. Our heart's with him. The whole Syracuse basketball community is with him. He's a battler. He's a fighter, and he'll be back on the sidelines yelling at me and you and the referees soon.
And we certainly look forward to that. Jim Calhoun, our best going out to him. In the meantime, UConn continues to play, and George Blaney is going to take over, a veteran of the coaching ranks. He's been with Calhoun for a shorter period of time, but he certainly knows the ropes in the Big East, Digger.
Well, Jim Calhoun made a great move in bringing in an ex-head coach as an assistant coach. Blaney had great experience at Holy Cross as well as Seton Hall. And being in the Big East, he knows the Big East, so that now that UConn knows what's in front of them, and with Jim Calhoun saying, hey, you're the man, get it done, kids will listen to him, respect him, he'll do a good job coaching this team.
And UConn's coming off a very difficult loss on Saturday, and you take a peek at their schedule and what's coming up, and nothing's easy in conference play, especially if you go on the road, which they have to do 3 times over the next 5. But it appears the only monumental task in there would be the Syracuse game in the middle.
Well, not really. You can't take anything for granted in the Big East. I think Virginia Tech and Providence on the road are serious games, and you just can't take those 2 teams lightly. We saw what Virginia Tech did at home against Virginia from the ACC. They destroyed them. But I think, knowing what I think now that UConn has everything going their way, and I think George Blaney can coach this team. His temperament's going to be a little bit different than Jimmy's, but the kids will respect him, and they will play knowing that they still want to win, not just for Connecticut, but for Jim Calhoun.
Do you think I dissed the Big East there? That's not the way I intended it at
all. No. The Big East, as you know and I know,
yeah,
they're struggling, but this team right now, UConn's going to bounce back and do the things they want to do to win.
And a Big East game earlier on Big Monday tonight involved Jim Boeheim's team. Syracuse hosting Georgetown in rivalry week, and certainly through the years, this has been one of the Big East great rivalries. And Mike Sweetney, he has just been terrific, Digger. 32-13 in this game. Carmelo Anthony, the sensational freshman, knocking down the 3. He's not the only terrific freshman the Cuse has.
Yeah, and I love Jerry McNamara. When he starts getting that consistency on the perimeter, he just tees it up, sits the 3s. He's got 22 points, 3 assists in this game.
Tight game, though, still in the second half. 57-53 the Cuse. Tony Bethel stepping out from behind the arc. He had 12 points, 9 assists. Georgetown right there, but Cuse pushes it back out again. Akeem Warwick is a guy I think has just played terrific basketball for Boeheim of late. And won 11 points, 7 rebounds, and then Anthony would finish off the Hoyas. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Syracuse wins it 88-80. G-Town has lost 6 out of 7. In the Big 5, Villanova and St. Joseph's, and Jameer Nelson, one of the top point guards in America, Digger.
He just gets this thing going, shooting 3 after 3. And if you don't switch or pick up on him, he'll even steal the passing lanes, take it down for an easy score. Solid performance as they jumped out 29-9 from the beginning.
And it just kept getting uglier. Delonte West went off in this game. Watch this play by West. Down the boulevard and facing everybody in a Villanova uniform short of Ed Pinckney. The backcourt combined for 55 points. West and Nelson, 92-75. St. Joe's beats Nova for the first time in 8 years.
2 straight losses. Now to go to Miami. It's not going to be easy for Villanova now in the Big East.
So we got much more coming up on Big Monday. Wyoming off to a terrific start. Mountain West, they go on the road to take on San Diego State. That's at midnight Eastern time. We're back after this.
This halftime report is presented by Mass Mutual Financial Group. You can't predict, you can prepare.
Have you seen the new look for this year? Introducing the all-new CLK.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
What's that? Hershey's pot of gold? I thought we weren't exchanging gifts this year.
We're not.
Hershey's pot of gold. It's that good.
Subway's changed my life. I've got more energy, and I need it with a wife and home. Now there's plenty to take care of. I have a yard. It has low-fat sauces, like honey mustard on turkey. I love the new meat.
Subway, eat fresh!
When I first met my girlfriend, I didn't know what to say or what to give her. But now, I've gotten better at both.
A diamond heart pendant from Kay means 2 things. Every diamond is hand-selected, and she'll absolutely love it.
Every kiss begins with K.
On February 14th, it's going to be one hell of a ride.
How you doing?
Let's bring on the pain. Daredevil, rated PG-13, February 14th, only in theaters.
She's the first one in the family to go to college. Full scholarship. 4 years. Thing is, it's 25 miles away.
We're Household, and we've helped over 700,000 people who need cars get cars. Because for nearly 125 years, we've understood the hopes and financial needs of everyday people. Household, helping everyday people every day.
Welcome back to the Mass Mutual Halftime Report.
Kansas up on Mizzou 33-28 at the half, and the Tigers are close due to the play of Ricky Paulding. 8 points in the first half, often saves his best for Kansas, averaged 21 in the 2 meetings last year. Let's spend a minute with Missouri's Ricky Paulding.
I think probably Drew Good. He's a tough guy to play against. He rebounds, he scores well. I think he always gave us problems. I think he's another arsenal for Kansas who has a great team already. But to see Drew go, I think it kind of helped us out a little bit. I like Holly Berry. I think it's the whole looks thing. I think it's just the way she looks now. I like Ray Allen. I just like his speed, and he plays defense really well, and I like the shot. I think I want to be like a youth counselor or something like that. I spent a lot of time at the Boys and Girls Club growing up, and had a lot of mentors that really helped me out. I see myself being the kind of guy that someone can talk to and just help out youth. It's tough being a college student overall, and just being a student athlete. It's really tough. And like you said, you're not able to hold a job or anything. And I think it would be nice to get some sort of reward. Jay-Z, the blueprint. I just think it was a great album. He really put everything together. He just came out really strong. So I like listening to Jay-Z.
You know Ricky Paulding a little better, and he'd like to introduce himself to the Jayhawks again in the second half. His Tigers are down by 5. Second half coming up after this.
This halftime report is presented by Mass Mutual Financial Group. You can't predict, you can prepare.
What's so incredible?
This. The system must think I'm him.
Who?
Him.
Holy, that's all his stuff.
I can't believe we're in here.
Talk about your insider information.
Be cool. He can see us.
So...
Cover me. I'm going in.
Browser. Someone you never worry about when your systems are secure. Novell.
America today, hundreds of thousands of self-employed and small business owners are being successful, thanks to the National Association for the Self-Employed. The NASE gives them health benefits, advice on tax breaks, discounts, and more discounts, business advice, credit card processing, and so much more. Join the thousands who know NASE benefits make the difference. Call your NASE representative today.
ESPN's presentation of Rivalry Week is presented by Novell and in part by Audi, with the performance and safety benefits of Quattro all-wheel drive in every model line.
To 28 as we prepare to open the second half. And John, you and I were just talking here at the table. When you look at these stats top to bottom, you would think, well, this probably should be at least a double-figure ball game as far as KU, but it's very tight.
Well, you know, like any rivalry game, it's a great intensity, pretty clean play. There hasn't been any pushing, shoving, fighting yet. And when you look at the stats, Kansas at 55%, 22 points in the paint, 9 steals. Again, you would think it was double-digit. Kansas averages nearly 92 points in their 15 wins. Missouri has done a nice enough job, Ron, to offensive rebound, get some putbacks, keep this game close. They've got to cut down on their turnovers because you know Kansas, again, can make a run.
12 turnovers against Missouri once again, and only 4 assists in the first half. So the two head coaches have gone to the locker room and visited with their charges, and we have 20 minutes of this rivalry remaining. Heinrich, nice fouled on the floor. Graves headed toward the hoop.
Arthur Johnson picked up his second personal with just a light bump. Well, everybody talks about the first 4 minutes, first 5 minutes, and if you're a road team here, we know that's so important.
Out to Heinrich, and we have a whistle and a foul called against Jeff Graves. So we have not played but 10 seconds, and we've had 2 fouls called already.
Well, Well, the reaction says it all from Roy Williams. There weren't a lot of fouls called in the first half.
No, there were not.
And now 2 little bumps.
And in fact, John, nobody made a free throw, did they?
No. Well, 2 of 2. The Tigers were 2 of 2. Kansas was 0 of 3, and it was all Jeff Graves. Oh, what a tough shot by Arthur Johnson. The turn to face, the jumper.
So it's
that's a big-time move.
3-point ball game.
Missouri's been very good on the defensive end all season long. They have not shot the ball well in Big 12 play, but their wins on the road at Nebraska and the win against Colorado at home was all done on the defensive end.
Arthur Johnson just picked up foul number 3.
Well, Roy Williams has sent a message to his ball club that we're going to attack inside, and Jeff Graves, good low post position, and Arthur Johnson just trying to looked like kind of getting out of the way. But there was the reach.
That's right.
See that? I mean, he was backing up, but right when he put his hands over.
So 50 seconds into the second half, and AJ is about to have to sit down, and Kevin Young checks into the lineup.
A big blow for this Missouri team. They rely on Arthur Johnson on both ends of the floor.
So Graves hits his first of the night. He was 0 for 3 at the line. He gets both of them. So back to a 5-point game. Paulding works against Langford.
Paulding took 5 shots in the first half, all 3-pointers. He's got to be a little more aggressive with the ball and attacking, because that will free up his teammates for open looks.
Clemens can't leave him with that much space. He'll take that shot and then also bury it all night long. Back to the 2-point game.
And like any good shooter, if he hits 1 or 2, he will keep looking, and he can get on a serious roll.
Langford might have gotten away with the travel, but maybe the ball was blocked, and that's the reason there was no whistle. And Clemens quickly to the other end. McKinney on the wing, very deep, not there, and Young hustles for the rebound. Clemens again.
Well, 2, I think he'll advise shots, only because you've got a chance for a better possession than that. Well, earlier, Clemens, too much space. Miles went underneath the pick, and you can't allow Ricky Clemens that much time. And the next possession down, really 2 bad shots for Missouri. It led to a break, foul, and a basket.
So Langford gets credit for the basket and goes to the line.
Langford has had some big scoring ball games this season. 27 against Arizona, 22 in the first half of that ball game.
Back out to Heinrich, pulls up, and the soft touch gets it to go down.
Good touch. That's a tough shot.
So Clemens picked up his 2nd foul on that last trip, and already Missouri with 3 fouls in the first 2 minutes of this second half, and they turn it over.
A little miscommunication just by vision. Look at Kirk Heinrich. He does this as well as anybody in this league. Just the little mid-range floater. Softness.
13 turnovers, Tigers.
And quickly Arthur Johnson will get back in his ballgame.
Graves not there. Young doing a good job of bodying up on him. And Clemens quickly to the other end. Trey McKinney.
Got a pretty good stroke, doesn't he?
Boy, I'm telling you. And no fear for a first-time guy. This time last year he was playing high school ball, right?
Yep.
Collison. A little too hard off the back iron.
A little quicker pace this half. It looks like Missouri feels like if they push the ball, they can get some open looks.
That's Miles, his first, and the 2nd team foul.
Ricky Clemens quick with the basketball. You've got to honor him when he penetrates. And Jimmy McKinney, just a freshman. Good showing so far in this ballgame.
Bryant, Paulding. Collison came up to close off the baseline, and he will get the foul. First one on him. Team foul number 3, Jayhawks.
It'll be interesting to see when Missouri goes back defensively, if they stay in a man or they go to a zone, since Arthur Johnson has 3 personals. And if he's in a man-to-man, how quickly the Kansas team will attack.
You would suspect, obviously, that the Tigers would go to the zone. Paulding, quick turnaround, well off the mark, but a quick shot. And McKinney tries to save it, steps on the sideline. Mike Lee comes into the lineup. Aaron Miles will get a breather.
Arthur Johnson will be matched up against Bryant Nash. Nash not a big scorer, not a post player. So Arthur Johnson can kind of play center field, middle linebacker on the defensive end.
Heinrich, nice dish.
But when he does that, he'll lose his man like that time. Had no idea where Nash was. Good pass.
Back to a 5-point ball game, and the ball is kicked. They'll get a fresh 35.
The other part with Johnson with 3 personal fouls, I believe Heinrich and Langford will feel they can attack more at the rim. They know Arthur, who's a great shot blocker, all-time leader at the University of Missouri, still only in his junior season, but he will not try to block and pick up his 4th person.
Clemens way outside. That's not there. And Michael Lee tries to save it, and he does. Back to Nash, and now to Heinrich. Heinrich a little out of control, but he didn't pick up a foul.
Almost looked like he tripped over Clemens' foot at half court.
Langford dishes it to Collison. Bryant was there defensively, misses, and the tip back up. Who got it? Collison? Yep, going to be Collison. 14 points for him.
Big possession for the Tigers right here.
Tough pass inside, a little too tight. Clemens tries to steal it, and he does slow down the play for a moment. Wide open. They forgot all about Collison. And a timeout, Missouri.
Good defensive play by Bryant Nash to reach around to allow Kansas to push.
9-point lead, Jayhawks. Quinn Snyder wants to talk it over. He does not want to see that much room. We'll be right back.
Presented by Novell, all week long on ESPN and ESPN2.
Did you know that when you let Jackson Hewitt prepare your taxes, you can get money right away with a Money Now loan? Just walk in with your W-2 and walk out with money. So come on by, and I'll be happy to get you started.
Just saw your commercial.
What, this commercial?
Yeah, and I'd like to get money now.
This commercial?
Yeah.
Okay, have a seat.
The Jackson Hewitt Money Now loan. You can't get money any faster.
Ron Franklin and John Sunvol coming to you from the packed Allen Fieldhouse. It's Rivalry Week, presented by Novell. And John, you talked just a moment ago about the dreaded Kansas onslaught to begin the second half. This is a 10-3 run so far.
And take a look at the Big 12 standings. The surprising, maybe Oklahoma State Cowboy Ball Club finally knocked off in Austin, Texas this past Saturday. Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Missouri. As was predicted at the start of this season, all those teams would be right near the top.
Well, the way this thing is shaping up, John, and having seen most everybody in the conference now, we're going to have a lot of fun in Dallas. It's this tournament this year ought to be a great one.
Sellout already down in Dallas for the tournament.
Langford Gets the ball that Balding simply couldn't hold on to. Lost his balance, and Heinrich quickly with a cross-court pass to Lee. Back inside to Collison. Couldn't get it to go. Four fouls on Art Johnson.
How about the pass and the recognition from Michael Lee? Collison, who is great at establishing low post position. Arthur Johnson had nowhere to go. Watch Collison. He's going to go now. He's going to lock Arthur on his back. Good pass. Tough second half.
Well, when you put down at the 15-22 mark, that's when A.J. got his fourth foul. That is indeed tough sledding as far as the Tigers are concerned. Because, John, what has happened? Points in the paint. KU, 32 of their 45 points and only 10 from Missouri.
Well, again, we said it before. When Arthur Johnson leaves, it takes an element on the offensive end, not only scoring, but setting screens and then rebounding. And in defense, he averages nearly 10 rebounds a ball game.
So we'll take a timeout. 10-point margin. Largest of the game by KU. We'll be right back.
Tonight on SportsCenter, who won't be dancing in March? The Lakers missed the playoffs, fact or fiction? The latest on King James and his Court of Appeals, and Barrett Robbins tells his side. SportsCenter after the game.
ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It is a rivalry born in bitterness that has created champions. The Colorado Avalanche, the Detroit Red Wings. 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday on ESPN.
The well has run dry, so to choose a gatherer, these males use a highly sophisticated method of selection.
These guys are my buddies.
Hey, buddy. Chop, chop, Casanova.
Grab a rock. When I first met my girlfriend, I didn't know what to say or what to give her. Now, I've gotten better at both.
A 3-stone diamond necklace from K Jewelers means 2 things. Every diamond is hand-selected, and she'll absolutely love it.
Every kiss begins with K.
Point game, Kansas on top tomorrow. Super Tuesday on ESPN and ESPN2. The Big East and the SEC in action. Providence takes on number 4 Pitt. That is the first game, 7 o'clock Eastern, ESPN2. Then at 9 o'clock, Super Tuesday presented by Dollar Rent-A-Car. Number 1 Florida taking on number 7 Kentucky. All a part of Rivalry Week presented by Novell.
Well, the question, anybody playing better than Florida? And Kentucky fans will say, yeah, we are.
Yes.
So come on up. Oh, what a ball game that will be.
Yeah, I know I'm going to have my clock set for that one.
Former Wildcat great Rex Chapman stopped by at halftime to say hi. One of the best catch-and-shoot players ever played Kentucky or even at the next level.
Balding. Sealed off the baseline. Heinrich causes the ball to be turned over. And Lee, look at this effort. Back to Heinrich. Scores, and he goes to the line. First of all, give credit. Watch Michael Lee and what he does to get the ball to his teammate.
Active hands, active bodies, and then Heinrich gets a finish, a little bump by Kevin Young, and you either foul or you don't foul. You either make it so he doesn't get the shot up. But wow, this defense, Missouri is not attacking it, and they are struggling. Too many Kansas players are tipping the ball on that defensive end. They are active.
6 assists for Heinrich in the ball game, besides his 14 points.
Quinn Snyder 2 games ago put Jimmy McKinney more on the point so Ricky Clements could come off some screens and look for his shot, more of a shooter. Without Arthur Johnson, they don't have the big low post presence.
Almost stolen. Kroenke's pass back over to Clemens. Clemens saved it.
Heinrich's got to keep a hand up. Good job, because Clemens will pull the trigger.
Shot clock is at 8. Trayvon Bryant misses. Collison tips it around. Young gets it back for the Tigers. And he'll put up a shot and gets it to go.
Wow. Young doesn't score a lot of points. And an odd-looking shot. Flat. Have a knuckleball, a little sideways spin. Probably look over here and say, well, put 2 points on that.
That's right. Gaylord Perry would have been proud. About to go under 14 minutes left in our ball game. Missouri and Kansas. Nash skies. Couldn't get it to go down, but he was a foot and a half above everybody else.
He was looking down at that rim, just didn't get a handle on that ball.
Back to Kroenke in the corner. Trayvon Bryant out on top. Clemens for 3.
It's really nice ball movement. Trayvon Bryant had 2 looks, but not good enough. First one out to Kroenke, second one out to Clemens.
Clemens now with 11. He and Arthur Johnson, the only 2 Tigers in double figures. And Heinrich a little too far on that one.
Tigers have had 2 good offensive possessions, 2 good stops, and they won't go away, only down 8.
Tigers shooting 39%, 52.4 for KU. But as John mentioned, Missouri just simply will not go away. And there's Clemens. And this is what you were talking about. He just wants the basketball now.
Well, it's such a quick release. It will remind people that have not seen him play of Clarence Gilbert from a year ago. Once it's in his hands, he can get it out of that in a hurry. And he likes to move to shoot it, so he can shoot it off balance. It may look off balance, but for him, it's just right in his rhythm.
Double figures a moment ago. Right now, it is back to a 5-point ball game, and the ball is going to be stripped, and it's Clemens who got a hand on it. McKinney off to Clemens. He'll put up another 3, and he's off the mark there as Langford gets the rebound.
Well, they'll have numbers. McKinney's going to trail 5-on-4 for Kansas. Was that 1-on-2 break? I'll just stop at the 3-point and fire.
Collison way too hard on that one. Langford over the back. He'll get the foul. And it'll be the 4th team foul against the Jayhawks.
Yeah, Ricky Clemens starting to heat up. He is 4 of 11 from beyond the 3-point arc.
Langford has to go to the bench. It's his 3rd personal.
This is where you know he's a good shooter. The way he moves, loves to go to his left, opens that right arm up.
Missouri now 8 of 21 from beyond the arc.
And they'll keep looking beyond there a little bit.
Nash almost gets to steal, and he does. Heinrich.
Tough call, tough play when you're Trayvon Bryant back on defense, because as a defender, you kind of feel like the offensive player caused all the contact. Good hustle by Nash. And the smart thing that Miles does right here is he kicks it up ahead. Now let Heinrich go to finish. Good bucket.
First foul on Trayvon Bryant. 17 points and 6 assists for Kirk Heinrich. You know, John, it was this game last year that you could say was his coming out party. He had 23 points in the first game against Missouri. The last game of the year, 25 points. Heinrich really gained confidence through what he did against the Tigers.
Kind of exploded on the national scene and continued to score throughout the later half of that year. Boy, that's a tough shot. It's a tough shot.
52-47. With all these threes, it doesn't take a whole bunch. You can look and you say, hey, simple math. They're picking up one more than KU is picking up on every trip.
Look how they back off Miles. They will let him look at the rim.
Good job stopping the alley-oop by the Tigers. And here they come. Turnover number... We'll check it here in just a second.
Obviously now Heinrich has to pick out McKinney just a step further, and they have to stay on Clemens outside. That should open up the inside for Trayvon Bryant. There's a nervous feel in this building just because this Tiger team keeps hanging around.
Graves now has 3 fouls. 11 minutes exactly left in the ball game. And we'll take the break with him. 52-47. Tigers not just hanging around, they are making folks nervous.
Everybody's riding and training together, and it's such a great sport, and it's good to do it on a Suzuki. The first Suzuki I had was a JR80, and man, ever since I've been hooked to the brand.
Just trying to have fun with it at first, and if you like it that much, just keep working at it, and eventually you'll get up here.
The DRZ line's so awesome.
Just like my bike, it's so fast, so easy to get used to. Such a variety to pick from. The whole family can go and get something they love.
Suzuki definitely has the right dirt bike for you.
I'd like you to meet two special athletes. People said they wouldn't amount to squat.
But with the Bud Light ESPN Quarter Bouncers Tournament, even these guys can be champions by competing in a nationwide tournament, finally heading to Las Vegas to become national champions. Watch ESPN's Big Monday.
Winter X Games 7 in Aspen continues Tuesday at 7 on ESPN.
You can follow the road to the playoffs with NBA League Pass on Sports in Demand.
When a player or a team goes on a tear, click, and I'm there.
Get up to 40 out-of-market regular season games a week on digital cable.
Move clear across the country, and don't miss a thing.
Don't miss the shots, steals, and dunks right up to the season finale. Order today to get the lowest price of the season. Call 1-888-SPORTS-IN today. Now you've got games. Order NBA League Pass on Sports in Demand.
Coming to you from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. It's Rivalry Week, presented by Novell. Points off turnovers. Look at this, John.
A big number. Big number there. Kansas has been active on that defensive end, and they have turned it around quickly. Missouri is hanging in 5 of 10 in the second half from the three-point line.
You're right. Just over 40% they're shooting. They had 12 turnovers at halftime. They have 18 now, and still it's a 5-point ball game.
That three-point line, the great equalizer. Kansas only 1 of 5 beyond the stripe tonight.
Clemens guarded by Heinrich. Under 11 minutes to play in this one. And Clemens tries to dish it off to Young. Touched last by KU. 28 seconds will remain on the shot clock. Paulding back in, and Kroenke goes to the bench.
Paulding scoreless in this second half so far.
Had 8 in the first half, 2 of 6 from both the three.
And really had 5 early in this ball game.
Paulding skies for the rebound, and he's not scoreless any longer in the second half. That's a big one.
And that's a good basket.
10 points for him. 3-point ball game, 52-49. Nash is going to take a 3. Graves on the follow, yeah. And he was fouled.
Well, Jeff Graves understands a little bit of this rivalry. He grew up on the Missouri side in Lee's Summit. Went away for a couple of years to junior college. But he has now become a force on the inside for Roy Williams and his ball club.
Kevin Young with his 4th foul. So Arthur Johnson, who also has 4, returns to the lineup. He departed at the 15:22 mark and comes back at the 10:28 marker on the clock.
And only had 1 personal foul at halftime, so he picked up those 3 fouls in less than 4 minutes.
He got the 2 in like a 10-second span to start the second half. That was in the first 50 seconds.
And what Arthur Johnson needs to do is the fact that he can't just be out there. I mean, even though you have 4, you've got to play.
It's a good point. You can't be so worried about getting that 5th one that you're a detriment to your team.
Well, yeah, at times, and that allows the opponent to score too easily.
McKinney gets him in the air, pulls up from about 5, knocks it down, back to 3.
And McKinney's jump shooting ability allows him to then put it on the floor.
He's got 11. Collison, short stay for him on the bench. He's about to check back into the lineup. Into Graves, working against Arthur Johnson. The bounce pass, tried to bounce it off Bryant's foot.
Did Graves pick up his fourth person?
Yeah, sure did.
Boy, good double team in the recognition. Your partner has 4 fouls. You might as well come over and help. Graves loses it, and then a little too aggressive on the sideline.
16 fouls, Missouri, 7 already on Kansas, and Graves sits.
I believe on Calder.
That's his second.
Yeah, kind of a silly foul too. Puts the Tigers in the bonus.
So 1-1 at the 9:40 mark.
Spalding, 76% free throw shooter.
Yeah, but John, we didn't see much free throw shooting in the first half. Looks like we're going to see a lot in the second half, with both already putting the other in the bonus situation. Spalding misses the front end, gets the long carom, and Arthur Johnson jams it back home.
Yeah, perfect. If you're going to miss, it might as well be a long bounce right back to the shooter. Good pass. Now it is Kansas that is looking for a good possession on the offensive end.
That ball almost stolen by Johnson.
And we've seen Arthur Johnson get a lot of those kind of steals.
Collison back out to Nash. He pulls up too hard off the glass, and believe this, Missouri can take the lead on this trip right here.
And you want to settle it down on the offensive end. Be patient. Again, work it so you get a good shot.
Clemens. Boy, he wanted desperately to take that three.
he still does. Hey, don't quit on him yet, partner. He's still looking.
Heinrich was right there with a hand in his face. Shot clock is at 12, now 11. Under 9 minutes to play. One of the better rivalries in the country. Missouri and Kansas living up to all of its billing. Nice speed. Johnson misses the short jumper, and the ball is tipped back out to Heinrich.
Good decision. Didn't have anything. Bring it back out.
Collison crowd wanted him to take the three, and Nick said, nope, I'm going to pass it up. Langford, nice look and pass.
Well, I was just going to say that Trayvon Bryan and Arthur Johnson were standing there, neither one guarding anybody. And so Nash just walked to the basket, got a pass. Good recognition by Langford.
Nash now with 6 points. Strong to the hoop, McKinney.
How about the freshman? Oh, man.
He said, I don't understand what all this stuff is about. This is really a tough place to play. I'm having a ball.
Well, the young man won 3 state high school championships. I think he likes the stage, you know, the center stage.
Collison, quick turnaround jumper, swishes it.
Soft touch.
Clemens back out on the wing. Paulding, long three. No. Heinrich skies for the rebound. Heinrich, good no-look pass. Micro lead.
Heinrich well conditioned. He loves to push and make everybody else run.
Five-point game. We're about to go under 7 minutes to play. Everybody is up in this arena right now. How important is this rivalry? Just look, and 16,000 will tell you. Heinrich with the steal, and he'll take it the distance and jam it home.
What a ball game. Boy, back and forth.
19 points for Heinrich, and a timeout called by Missouri.
Heinrich again, he's pushing, he loves to challenge any defensive team. Will you get back? Will you all run back? The passion in that face. Over 400 wins. The kick out from Arthur Johnson probably should have taken that shot. And Heinrich with the easy finish, exclamation point, and the crowd just erupted.
He normally uses the glass. He wanted this one to make sure that it went down.
He's a senior. Last time he hits the Tigers in this building.
John, all right, I asked you off the top of the telecast tonight to talk about the emotion and all. And right now, just what you talked about with some of the players that are playing hurt and also very tired, you get time to rest and heal up later, don't you?
Well, no doubt. This is what you play for, these kind of games. The excitement. I mean, there are great plays made by a lot of players so far in this ballgame. We still have 6:40 left.
7-point Jayhawk lead.
Kind of a coming out party for Jimmy McKinney. He's been kind of a quiet starter on this ball club for the last few ball games.
Clemens for three, and he nails it.
My goodness.
4-point game. Nash works against Young. Looks for somebody on the perimeter, gets it back out to Lee.
And Nash not a big post-up player.
Stolen by Johnson. 11 turnovers against the Jayhawks. Well, the crowd wanted travel, but it was a jump stop. This game has never been tied. We have exchanged leads, but never a tie. Shot clock is at 9. Paulding, strong to the glass. Oh, a tough shot. And knocks it down, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Boy, possession after possession. What a tough shot by Paulding. Puts it on the floor. Now watch the weak side help. Here's Nash, and here comes Collison. Over the top, soft touch.
Well, you could see Roy Williams in that crouch position a moment ago, contemplating what is happening and what is going to have to happen. And at the other end, his young counterpart, Quinn Snyder. Don't tell anybody that his kids were not well prepared to come in here to Allen Fieldhouse and played. They have really acquitted themselves very nicely. It is a 1-point game. We'll be right back.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You have done me a great injustice, Johnny. This is not fit for a man. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men, Johnny. For men. It's shine free with tough protection. And I know about protection. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men.
Everyone wants a beautiful retirement. But with a falling stock market, low interest rates, and a weak economy, you might not get there. That's where an Allstate fixed annuity comes in. It's an investment that's safe and protected. Ow, ow, ow. Better yet, it guarantees a good rate of return, so you know your money will grow. And you can have that beautiful retirement you've always hoped for. There you go, Allstate fixed annuities. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
Had it with itching, flaking, dandruff? You need the Neutrogena T-Gel Power of 3. Unlike ordinary medicated shampoos, T-Gel works on all 3 major scalp conditions. Dermatologists recommend it #1. Stop the itching and flaking. Switch to Neutrogena T-Gel. It works.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is presented by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And in part by new Blistex Clear Advance. Shine-free, tough protection made for men.
So it's a 1-point ball game. Kansas 62-61. And we welcome the men and women of the 52nd Fighter Wing, the best in U.S. Air Force in Europe, at Spagendam Air Base in Germany, watching on AFN, the American Forces Network. In fact, they're watching Big Monday on AFN around the world in 180 countries and aboard over 300 ships at sea. And we say thanks for all that you do.
59% from the field in the second half for this Missouri Tiger team shooting.
And John, they've taken 13 three-pointers in the second half. They hit 6 of those.
Yep. What answers now will Kansas come up with? Collison, Heinrich.
bouncer. Collison back out to Heinrich. 4-3.
Kind of simple sometimes to figure out. One of the two, you put them both on the same side and you really pick your poison. Do you double or do you stay home?
And if I'm the opposing coach, when those two kids are working together, I'm nervous because
no doubt.
Many times out of 10, they make something happen with points.
Yes, they do.
Back to a 4-point game.
Heinrich doing a lot of chasing on Clemens around the screen.
We are under 5 minutes to play. Shot clock is at 10. Johnson couldn't hang on, being intimidated by Collison. And it'll be turnover number 20 for the Tigers.
Not a good angle to throw it.
Collison puts it on the floor, drives it to the hoop, and he scores.
Heinrich, Collison, touches. Good aggressive move by Collison inside.
What was a 1-point game is now 6. Paulding for 3. Nope. Lee with a rebound. And Lee has given them some very consistent minutes.
Solid on the defensive end.
Heinrich off the high screen by Collison in the back door. Trayvon Bryant.
He read it perfectly. Saw it the whole way.
Clemens with the left hand, and he scores it.
Tough shot.
Oh, my goodness. 67-63. Under 4 to play.
Almost shot that backward.
I still don't see how you got enough English on it, so to speak, to get it to go down.
Ron, there are some tired bodies on the floor.
Collison and Bryant really leaning on each other.
Langford has been quiet.
Collison. The jumper not there, and Arthur Johnson did a nice job of staying at home, using verticality and not picking up a foul.
A lot of players grabbing their shorts on both sides.
Paulding works against Langford.
Easier to make a harder move on the offensive end. Defensively, you kind of get a step behind.
3:15, now 3:14 left in the ball game. 4-point contest, and the soft running jumping is Paulding gets it to go down.
Boy, he's been a much better player in this ball game than he's shown the last few games. He's being aggressive, going to the hoop.
He's got 15 and some real key hoops. Maybe a force there. Nobody blocked out Michael Lee. And Roy Williams up quickly saying, get back on defense. But the Tigers are so winded right now. Yeah, nobody on a dead sprint.
Well, they're tired bodies. I'm looking at Collison bending over, Heinrich's bending a little bit.
69-65. About to hit 2.5 minutes left in this one. Clemens way outside. Misses. Art Johnson can't hold on to it. And it's going to be Langford with the KU rebound.
That ball was halfway in.
Roy Williams wants a timeout. And let's see if he's going to take a 30. Yes, that's what he wants. Well, tomorrow's Super Tuesday on ESPN and ESPN2 with the Big East and SEC action. 7 o'clock at ESPN2. The Providence Friars take on Pittsburgh, number 4 in the land. And then at 9 Eastern, Super Tuesday presented by Dollar Rent-A-Car at ESPN as number 1 Florida meets number 7, the Kentucky Wildcats. All a part of Rivalry Week, presented by Nobel.
Well, with the losses last week, Arizona got knocked off once, so did Texas, Pittsburgh. Florida jumps from 4 to 1. Oklahoma slides up to 5, and Rick Pitino's ball club Louisville, they may be the hottest team in the country.
Hey, John, Big Mondays have always been fun. This year has been phenomenal.
This is a treat. We've got the best seat in the house.
69-65. Kansas basketball. They won't inbound from the sideline right here in front of us. 2:27 left to play.
Little break helps all the players now. You get your wind back a little bit. Last time down, they got Heinrich and Collison on the same side.
Heinrich looking inside. Tries to drive the baseline. Langford takes it back out. Plenty of time in the shot clock. No need to rush. Give and go. Heinrich from who? Collison.
Yeah, what a nice pass. Put it on the floor.
24 points for him now.
And who has had the answers for Missouri? Paulding's been good. Clemens can't force it too fast.
Here's the freshman, McKinney. Looks up at the shot clock. There's 18 seconds there.
Good patience.
We are under 2 minutes in the ball game. 71-65 Kansas. The bouncer to Bryant, and he'll jam it home.
What a play by Clements. Put it on the floor, attract all the attention.
4 points for him. Back to a 4-point game, and we're about to hit 90 seconds showing on the clock.
Kansas wants to spread it out a little bit, run some clock, make this Tiger team chase them defensively. They're tired. Will they let up with their knees like one time and you can beat your man, take it to the rim?
Heinrich looks up at the clock, and the shot clock is now gone to 10 at 1:14. Back in the corner, Michael Lee for three. Too hard, wouldn't go. Battle for it in the tip, and a foul is going to go against 33 Nash.
Wow. I actually thought it was a free ball. I thought both guys kind of met at the peak.
9 team fouls now against KU.
It'll be called. Paulding now gets to go to the foul line. The reaction from Roy Williams.
So the clock stops, 67 seconds left. And Paulding goes to the line for a 1-and-1.
3 of 4 on the night, 15 points.
Missouri at the free throw line tonight, 3 of 4.
So Ricky Paulding has taken all the free throws. Actually good then that he is on the line.
Rattles this one down. Silences the crowd for the moment. Back to a 3-point margin. Heinrich quickly runs over to talk with Roy Williams on the sideline.
You know, they didn't get what they wanted last possession. They ran the clock down, but too far down.
Paulding gets them both. Let's take a timeout. 67 seconds left, and it is a 2-point Kansas lead. Let's take a break.
Chicken. I like the melted cheese. Sizzling in the skillet. Get 'em at Applebee's.
Big skillets. He likes sauce and mushrooms. He likes them smothered, please. He wants skillet sensations. They're back at Applebee's.
Applebee's skillet sensations are back. Eating good in the neighborhood.
This Valentine's Day, a gift from Kay Jewelers means two things. First, that every Kay diamond is hand-selected. And second, that she'll absolutely love it. Give her Kay's diamond and natural ruby ensemble with a free talking puppy.
Every kiss begins with K.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
What's that? Hershey's pot of gold? I thought we weren't exchanging gifts this year.
We're not.
Hershey's pot of gold. It's that good.
New York Giant Michael Strahan and his mom brought Luis Hernandez new Campbell's Chunky Honey Roasted Ham and Potatoes. Filled up right by those hearty chunks of ham. Luis was in hog heaven.
Howdy.
This country blows.
Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson.
I call that one my Kung Pao chicken.
Shanghai Nights, rated PG-13. See you Friday.
I like to skate. I don't like to sweat. I use Red Zone because it's the strongest stuff you can get, made just for guys. It absorbs in and helps stop sweat, period. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. Dude, think about it. Would they guarantee it if it didn't work? Red Zone from Old Spice.
Kansas with a 2-point lead, just over a minute left. And a reminder, SportsCenter coming up next. Stuart Scott and Dan Patrick breaking down the bracket. Barrett Robbins' explanation, NBA Factor Fiction, and the analyst will review the season. Our situation here, 71-69, only a 2-point margin. 13 points is what KU led by at a time in this ballgame. 49-36, John.
Tigers have shot the ball extremely well in the second half. The three-point basket has been huge for them. What a ball game.
60 seconds remaining. Collison comes out high. Inside a minute, Langford. tries to get it to the cutter, and Nash is fouled. And did Arthur Johnson just foul out?
I think so. Arthur Johnson came back in this ball game at about the 11-minute mark with 4 personals and has hung on. And this one, it looks like he may just be trying to get out of the way here anyway. Now there's the reach. Good call. Nash will go to the free throw line at a 60% foul shooter.
Well, Johnson still leads with a double-double, 11 rebounds, 14 points, and that is the 29th of his career.
John, and at this stage, it's bad that he's out for Missouri, but it doesn't. He's not been the offensive power. I mean, it's been Paulding, McKinney, and Clemens, the guys that are scoring. So it's a little bit of a blow, but it's not devastating.
Nash goes to the free throw line for KU. And he is a 62% free throw shooter.
Now in his senior season, or junior season, excuse me.
Misses the first one. Quinn Snyder up and getting his people to move around some. Quinn is 3-3 against KU, 0-3 here at Allen Fieldhouse.
Hey, look at those numbers for Roy Williams. He stood up and told Brian Nash to follow through.
Well, Kansas tonight only 5 of 12 from the free throw line. Make it 6 of 13. Not any bigger than that one right there as KU takes another 30-second timeout. Well, just a moment ago, I talked about what a great time it has been on Big Monday. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Shot clock running down. They hit it. Cowboys win it. And how about this one here?
Victor Williams at Oklahoma State, and then Hollis priceless, coast to coast for overtime. And Nick Collison, 24 and 23 against Texas in an unbelievable ball game and a great win for Roy Williams. It's been fun on Monday night.
Yep, and you're going to have to put this one right there in that same archive, because back from a 13-point deficit, as John said, the Tigers shooting the lights out of it in the second half from beyond the arc. They are 10 of 27, but 6 of their first 13 in the second half, and that's what not only kept them in it, but actually pulled them even closer to cut down that big margin.
Well, remember where the open shots have come as of late. It's really not by the long shot, but by Paulding or Clemens putting it on the floor. They've been able to either shoot it or make bounce passes for layup.
John, look at this crowd. Nobody's sitting now. They are up and trying to be the 6th defender. Paulding drives it. Can't get it to go. It's short. Nash rebounds. And now back over to Heinrich.
And now you got a foul.
Paulding trying to get the foul.
Shot clock is off.
Bryant reaches in, and finally the foul at the 26.8-second mark.
Well, plenty of time, but I mean the shot clock was off, so you just don't want to let Kansas keep running clock off. Might as well make someone make a free throw. Michael Lee, take a look at Paulding goes inside.
Nash
good
got
play.
a part of it.
Quick off his feet. He's played a lot of good minutes tonight.
Yes, he has.
Michael Lee, 71% from the foul line. Another guy that has had some great minutes tonight and all season long.
You know, the interesting thing about Nash, a lot of people say he may be the best overall athlete on this KU team. Lee swishes it.
That's a good stroke. High school teammate of Aaron Miles. Doesn't get all the minutes that his buddy gets from high school, but he has been solid for Roy Williams.
You know, it's interesting that you use that term, because solid or consistent, either one, that has to be synonymous with the way he has started to play for this Jayhawk team. Not flashy, but also he doesn't get you in trouble.
Take a look at Kansas, the upcoming schedule. This week in Manhattan, Kansas State. Jim Woodridge Ball Club, they are playing outstanding in Manhattan. That will be a tough one at Baylor. They're looking for some wins, and then they've got Iowa State in here. So Tigers, it never gets easy in this conference, does it?
That's what's so interesting, even talking with the officials tonight before the ball game.
Take a look at that schedule. We got Bobby Knight coming. Next Sunday we will be in Columbia for that one. Then they go to A&M. Big win by A&M, beat Texas Tech on Saturday, and then Kansas State. We mentioned Jim Woolridge Ball Club playing well. They beat Texas Tech, nearly knocked off Oklahoma, went to overtime on Saturday. Well, Quinn Snyder's ball club came out at the second half and really just never gave up and never went away. You mentioned, Ron, they were down 13, and then they simply exploded on the offensive end. Jimmy McKinney, the freshman's been outstanding. Paulding has scored. Clemens has hit some impossible shots. They have just fought. And that's a lot what Tiger fans have been looking for out of this ball club when you go on the road against a tough team.
In this ball game, it's not just enough to say that you fought hard and still lost. But conversely, as you make the point, one of the things that Tiger fans have been looking for, and that is more tenacity out of this team this year. And I don't think you'll see them with any more tenacity than they played with tonight.
They struggled a year ago on the road against the big teams, and then this year in conference. At Oklahoma State and at Texas, really not very good ball games. And this was a test, and they're still not in it. They can score in a hurry.
5-point game, and a foul is Michael Lee.
Ideal for Missouri. Not much time went off the clock. Jimmy McKinney, a very good free throw shooter, gets to go to the foul line. And I think Missouri, if McKinney makes or misses, will foul right away.
So the double bonus. McKinney to the line to shoot two.
83% free throw shooter, made two big ones in the win against Colorado on Saturday.
4-point ball game. Arthur Johnson looks on, fouled out just a few moments ago. Got his fourth very early in the second half and had to sit for a huge amount of time. Second one on the way. He misses it. The ball is tipped. Heinrich knocks the ball back. Collison has it. Now Lee. And on the outlet pass, we have a foul.
You know, Heinrich came from all the way up top, Ron, when the ball was a little bit loose. He saw Collison couldn't get it. Heinrich made a dead sprint to get it. He didn't come up with it, but he had a chance. He didn't just stand and watch. Take a look. He's out top. He's going to come in, and at least he thought he had possession. Some guys get caught standing and watching, being a spectator. Lee goes back, just made his last two. He's got to have confidence.
John, what's amazing also about this KU team, when you look at Collison and also Heinrich, the amount of time, particularly in a down-the-stretch ball game like this, how much coaching they wind up doing on the floor, literally, and talking to their teammates.
Well, no doubt, and that's part of basketball. Coach can do so much on the sideline. It's the players on the floor that organize, reorganize, find out what's going on, and work it.
Misses it. Collison tips it back out to Heinrich.
They better go foul.
5-point lead with 15 seconds left. And Heinrich back to Collison.
Well, wasted probably too much time. They start chasing the ball, and Kansas simply played keep away. Now Collison, where he has improved by nearly 20 percentage points from a year ago at the foul line. Last year, about a 58% free throw shooter. This year, almost 79%. Big night. Collison, 22 points, 7 rebounds.
Collison 22 points, 3 assists also to go along with those 7 rebounds. Misses this one.
Have 2 possessions. You got to go in a hurry and launch her.
Way outside. Not there. The ball is tipped around on the floor. Kansas comes up with it.
Good ball game.
Snyder starts to walk to midcourt. This one is over. Kansas has handed him his 4th straight loss here at Allen Fieldhouse. Our final score, Kansas 76 and Missouri 70. Coming up next is Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. And now for John Sunbolt and our entire ESPN crew. Ron Franklin saying so long, everybody, from Lawrence, Kansas.
This is Sports Center.
March Madness comes early. 2 beasts from the East battle it out on the court, while the leader in the Big East heads for the sidelines. A crash course in Bracketology 101. Who's in, who's out, who's on the bubble. Kidd's back, but he had to shake the glove while the Mavs hope for a better fit against the Jazz. And the prep star who would be king. What's next? Come on, dog. It ain't no dog and pony show here. Sports Center now.
McNamara in the lane with the left hand. McNeil tipped it in.
Flying down the court, has to launch a three. He does, it's on the way. It's gone!
Miracles can happen.
Knight. Did he get it off? Did he get it off?
Chris Thomas driving, putting the shot up at the buzzer, and it rolls off, and we go to a second overtime.
Imagine if they've got to tell these fans to get off the court again.
Enough time. Dorian Jones driving down, and he is fouled on the arm.
Calm down. Get off the court. Let us figure out what happened here.
Drew Hall's going to shoot. Here he is. Long distance. Aaron's off. And the game ends.
It's over. It's over. Syracuse wins it.
And what a final minute.
Hi again, Sports Center on and cracking. Stuart Scott with Dan Patrick. Syracuse and Georgetown would be cracking up were it not for nerves of steel. Georgetown with that crucial double overtime loss Saturday, but the Q's a big win over Pittsburgh.
And the Orangemen undefeated at home. The Hoyas winless on the road. We've got the highlights from Syracuse, where plenty of seats not available. It would be Syracuse's version of the running of the Bulls. That's Carmelo Anthony. Is he the freshman of the year in the Big East? Mike Sweetney. Is he the player of the year? 25 points, 11 rebounds. Sweetney tying this one at 15, averaging 25 and 11, the only player in the Big East averaging a double-double. Sweetney with the jumper. Syracuse, after the jumper, up by 2 as Sweetney tells the packed house to be quiet. Anthony, 23-19 Syracuse. Later, more Anthony. The three-pointer. Syracuse with a 5-point lead. Later, it's Sweetney with a little revenge. He had 7 blocks, including this one on the freshman. Syracuse led at halftime, 42-36. Second half, Georgetown down 4. Sweetney with the rebound, rejected by the rim, stays with it. He would miss the free throw. He was 11 of 18 from the floor. Georgetown down a deuce. Later in the second half, Jerry McNamara, who had 22 points, gets knocked out of bounds by Gerald Riley, and Jim Boeheim says, wait, he got fouled. Somebody, what? Hakeem Warwick. And it counts.
Make up.
The Orangemen. Warwick again.
Warwick. Oh, my goodness, is he taking over? Hakeem. It's not a dream or an illusion. This guy has grown into becoming a big-time performer.
Late in the game, Syracuse up 74-63. McNamara, Anthony had 22. Syracuse finishes off Georgetown, which has had a tough run here as of late, 88-80. Mike Sweetney has certainly stepped up his game lately, but that has not meant success for the Hoyas. In the last 2 games, he scored 70 points, over 40% of his team's total, including a career-high 38 against the Irish 2 days ago. But the Hoyas have lost both of those games and are riding a 4-game losing streak, Stuart.
Hundreds of times over the past 17 years, UConn head coach Jim Calhoun has probably urged his players to attack, go after it. Today, Calhoun used the words for himself. The 60-year-old will take a month-long medical leave of absence to have prostate cancer surgery. One of only 10 active D1 coaches with 600 wins, Calhoun says the cancer is in its early stages and, quote, I want to attack this thing. I'm going to go after it.
Talked to Jim Boeheim, who was great last night, on the phone. I talked to my brother, I talked to other people, and then went in this morning and made a decision. I'm not sure, quite frankly, knowing my personality and the situation, that there was a decision. There's no... Something's going to have to be done, but my thing is that according to what has come back, I have prostate cancer.
I explained to him what I went through last year, and I was back in a couple weeks, and the doctors, the medicine, cancer research, everything is so great today. I expect Jimmy's going to be back on the sidelines yelling and screaming just like me in 2 or 3 weeks. I wish him all the best of luck. Our heart's with him.
I think everybody was just like in shock, like, sad, didn't really know what to say. Because, coach, he's going to be a coach, but he's been like a father to a lot of us too, especially for me. So, I know he been in everybody's lives. He's been in my life for a good 3 years, and it's just been a strong 3 years we had with each other. So this is just like real shocking.
The Huskies, who won the national title in 1999 under Calhoun, of course, are 13-4 this year, ranked 18th in the country. Their next game Wednesday night at Virginia Tech. Assistant coach George Blaney will run the Huskies in Calhoun's absence.
Football news, Michigan native Steve Mariucci is close to coming back home. The Detroit Lions caution that while there has been significant progress in the contract talks, no deal has yet been finalized. But ESPN.com's Len Pasquarelli reports Mariucci will sign a 5-year deal, and that announcement will likely come Wednesday. Mariucci, born and raised in Iron Mountain, Michigan, could be sworn in as early as tomorrow, though. He's the only candidate to have an in-person interview with the Lions. Still to come, inside Sports Center. After an early taste of madness, it was anybody's guess who would be voted the new #1 team in the country. We'll have the countdown. The best in the NBA head to Salt Lake, where the Mavs hope this game against the veteran Jazz has them singing a different tune. And Jason Kidd returns to the Nets just in time to face fellow Oakland native, fellow point guard Gary Payton. Plus, the latest on LeBron. Did he file an appeal for reinstatement? And if he knew the ramifications of taking those jerseys, would he do it all over again? Plus, Barrett Robbins breaks his silence. What went wrong? That's next when SportsCenter rolls on in 70 seconds.
College hoops, number 21 Missouri, number 11 Kansas. Quinn Snyder, Roy Williams renew the border war. Jeff Graves declared war on the referee. He turned it around, didn't he? Graves couldn't get to the ball, though. Late first half, Keith Langford to Bryant Nash, getting some bunnies with a Baduka dunk. Nash only 3 of 6, but woo, that was tight, yo. Second half, Missouri. From the turnover, Michael Lee falling, pass to Kirk Heinrich. Represent Heinrich at 24 points, KU up 13. Soon after, Ricky Clemens, 3. If you missed it, Ricky Clemens, 3. Booyah! 7 of 19 shooting, 19 points. Mizzou down 5. Now down 3. James McKinney baseline pulls it. He had 14. It's a 1-point game. A little bit later, Kirk Heinrich ripping it. Heinrich all over the court. Shorty was 10 of 13 from the floor. KU up 7. Then up 1. Heinrich 3. Did I say Kirk Heinrich was shooting? 2 of 4 from 3 land. Then Nick Collison back door. Fundamentals, people. KU up 6. Next Missouri opportunity, Clemens. Drive to Trevon Bryant. Bryant rocked it. Mizzou down 71-67. Now down 3 under 40 seconds left. Ricky Paulding drive blocked by Nash. Jayhawks hold on to win a thriller. You saw it here at ESPN, 76-70. KU now 3-0 on Big Monday this season. Their most wins without a loss on any day of the week this season. Yes, we checked. Earlier in the season on Mondays, they defeated Iowa State by 29. Last week, they knocked off number 3 Texas by 3 in one of the top collegiate games this season. Big Monday, big ups for KU. Villanova and St. Joe's. St. Joe's coach Phil Martelli has never beaten crosstown rival Villanova in 5 meetings.
For this night, for every one of you, I want you to go own the city. To own the city, you're going to have to work your asses off for 40 minutes. Every guy, every play, in every way. Let's go take care of business.
Work your what off there? I'm not sure.
I think he said donkeys. Jameer Nelson, no look bounce pass for the layup. Nelson again, he was 8 of 16 shooting, and then Nelson have a little bit of that. 5 of 11 from 3-point land. St. Joe's up 38-9. Nelson with the deal. He had 30 points. St. Joe's up 40-9. Late second, Delonte West behind the pack. I ain't gonna say that, but that ain't right. West had 25. St. John's first win against Nova since 1994.
McNamara in the lane with the left hand.